because these ones are what we call quadratic equations. A quadratic equation is when you have that little squared up here on the top of your x. You have x squareds in there. Okay? So, while they are a little bit different, you are still trying to get the x by itself to solve the equation. Now, if we have something added, the opposite is to subtract. If we have something subtracting, the opposite is to add. If we have a times, then the opposite is divide. And divide, the opposite is to times. But what is the opposite of something squared? Anyone want to have a guess? Or an informed, educated Layla? No, nice try, Si. No. Times and divides are opposites. It's not add, subtract, multiply, or divide. It's something else altogether. No. The opposite of squaring something is to square root it. Okay? So, the opposite of x squared, to move that to the other side, is to square root the 81. Now, there is an extra little catch to these questions. When I have something like this, if I have negative 2 squared, what do I get? If I square a negative number, what do you get? Negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4. Or if I had a positive 2 squared, what would that be? No, it's still a positive 4. So, squaring a positive number or a negative number gives me the same result. So, when you square root doing the opposite, you have to also remember that it could have been a positive or it could have been a negative. So we put this symbol in the front. We put a little plus and a little minus. It's called a plus minus sign. It could have been positive or it could have been negative. Does anyone know what the square root of 81 is? No. So on your calculator, the square root button, this one here, you type in the 81 and you get 9. So that means that it is a plus or a minus 9. Now you can leave your solution written like that, or you could write that as 9 or negative 9. It means there are two solutions there, a positive 9 or a negative 9. So either one of these would be the correct solution. Okay, let's try that again. Example 2 says x squared is equal to 144. So to get rid of the squared, I'm going to have to square root 144. And you will always remember from now on, whenever you square root something, to put a little plus or minus sign in front of it. The square root of 144 is 12. So the answer is plus or minus 12. Now, what do you guys think? Would you like to leave your answer like that, or do you like to write them separate? Leave the plus minus, keep it short and simple. All right, as long as you know that that does mean that they are two different numbers there. A positive 12 and a negative 12 are your solutions. Example 3. Example 3. To get rid of that squared, I need to square root the 23 with a plus or minus. What is the square root of 23? Yeah, so it's 4.7. There's probably some other decimal places there as well, is there? If the number does not square root nicely, if you don't get a whole number, then leave it exactly like that. Don't go to a decimal. So that is the answer, plus or minus square root of 23. Done. Okay, next one. X squared equals 59. Is it just me or is that bird really loud? Yeah. Okay, so to get rid of the squared, we are going to square root the 59 and the plus or the minus at the front. Does the square root of 59 come out nicely? No. Nope. So we're done. Question 5. Get rid of the squared. So we want to square root negative 3, plus or minus. What happens when you type in the square root of negative 3?
It goes to error.
It says math error. One of the very basic math rules is that you cannot square root a negative number, because you can never get something times by itself and get a negative answer, because two negative numbers always make a positive. So when that happens, that means that there is no solution to that equation.
That negative number by
A positive number, then it's not
that
squaring.
negative number.
Then it makes a positive, because a minus and a minus makes a plus. Yep. So you write that down and you say no solution, because we cannot square root a negative number. No solution. Yes. Please write no solution. All right. Question 6. To get rid of the squared, I'm going to square root 0. What is the square root of 0?
0.
Now, can you have a plus 0 and a minus 0? No. You would just say that that is x equals 0. You don't have positive and negative 0. Just 0. Question 7 and 8. These ones involve us moving the other numbers away from the x squared first. So our x squared, that's what we want to get by itself. I need to move the 2 and I need to move the 1. So first of all, the 1. The opposite, subtract 1. Get rid of that. I then have 2x squared equals 9 take away 1 is 8. Then I still need to get rid of the 2. So that's going to be a divide by 2 to cancel that off. X squared is now by itself, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now that the x squared is finally by itself, it's like all the other questions that we've done. To get rid of the squared, we do a plus or minus square root of 4. Can we square root 4 nicely?
Yeah.
Yes, it is 2. So the answer is x equals plus or minus 2. Okay, so you've just got those extra steps at the beginning to get the x squared by itself. So let's try that again. In example 8, the x squared is here. I need to get rid of the 38 and the minus 2. Which one should go first? The 38. Now the 38 is positive. The minus belongs with the 2, all right? So the 38, I need to subtract that to move it away. So I have a minus 2x squared and minus, what's that, 72? Minus 72 on the other side. Now, the minus 2. The opposite is not a plus. That's right, it's divide. I need to divide by negative 2. Cancel that off. X squared is by itself. Minus 72 divided by minus 2 becomes a plus 36. Now, to get rid of the squared, we will plus or minus square root of 36. The square root of 36 is a nice number. It's 6. So x is equal to a plus or a minus 6. That is it. That's what we're practicing today.
Oh.